Hey guys, Etrion here from Langrisser C. I'm from the Guild Legion of Scorn, and I'm here with part 5 of the Langrisser Mobile Beginner's Guide. And we're going to be talking about equipment as well as enchants. It's a big topic, so most likely this video would just be dedicated to that as a whole. So these are the things that we will talk about, and we'll basically walk everyone through how leveling up items or equipment in this game works. What do you need to level them up? The difference between SR and SSR items, what stat boost you get, and everything else on the summary screen. So I put this here so that you know what we're going to talk about. So the first part is about leveling up items or equipment. So if you go to any item that is level 1, you can basically add in, you can actually go to Forge and you can strengthen it by adding hammers to level it up. This will actually cost gold, but once you hit the level cap, as you stated here, you need to upgrade the star level of your item in order to progress further. In order to upgrade star levels, you need two things. One, you need these runes, which are basically materials that you can get from time rifts, as you can see here, or you can go to the handy guild store, which is another big use for guild points, which is to get all these runes to upgrade equipment with. And the second and more important thing is that you need either a duplicate of that item or a martial spirit of the same kind as the item they are upgrading. So this is the SSR martial spirit, but let's say if you were upgrading a SR item, and let's go down to the SR items here, for example, and you wanted to unlock the star level, upgrade the star level, you will need a SR, a martial spirit. How to get martial spirits is basically either through time rift options or by exchanging your ore for it in the store itself. We'll talk about how to get these martial spirits, but basically this is how you upgrade items. The maximum level for SR and SSR items is basically level 50 for both of them. So what's the difference between SR and SSR? Why is one a fancy rainbow color and one just a plain yellow color? The main difference actually comes from the stat boost. For example, if I were to use this, you can see that this True Cross provides 509 HP and 75 intelligence. If I were to change it to a max level SR item, so 509 and 79, you will realize that this is inferior in terms of stats. And what that basically means is that SSR items at max level are stronger than SR items at max level of 50. You can think of it as another 10 levels on top of what this item already has. So for example, an SSR will always be 10 levels higher than the corresponding SR level. So a level 50 SSR is equivalent to a level 60 SR, because obviously SRs can't go beyond levels 50. That means that at max level SSRs will always be stronger. But that doesn't mean that you ignore SR items, especially when you're starting out. When you're first starting out, you will lack a lot of martial spirits in order to upgrade all of your SSR items, and a lot of them will be stuck at level 20 because you cannot upgrade the star levels. Let me show you the difference between a level 20 item and a level 50 SR item. So level 20 SSR and level 50 SR. So 363 HP, 49 intelligence, right? So I leveled up a level 20 SSR just for this. Let me look for it. Sorry. Where did I put this darn thing? Hey. Oh no, it's above. My mistake. So here. So you can see that the level 20 SSR only gives 33 intelligence and healing effects of plus 5%. This means that the SR item, 33, remember, and to 49. So this means that the SR item is actually superior to the SSR item because you haven't been able to upgrade the star level of the SSR item. So when you're first starting out, do not pass up on SR items because they will most likely make up the majority of your hero's equipment until you can get more and more epic martial spirits to upgrade your SSR items with. Either that or obtain more duplicates of these items in order to level them up. What items are good and all that, it's a whole separate issue altogether, and there are certain items that you should never ever use to increase your star levels because these are very rare, things like Ragnarok, Last Rites and all that. If you're in doubt, feel free to join our Discord channel for Langrisser C, where we will answer any questions that you might have, and please do this before you break down stuff or use it to upgrade star levels, and it's something that is very rare. I'll put a link to an equipment spreadsheet that will talk about all the different equipment items available as to what is good and or not, but do keep in mind that this has not been updated for quite a long time. So why do we even bother with upgrading items? That's because items themselves, let me just put her correct item back. These items themselves actually give stat boosts. They give both in a flat HP and intelligence boost. For armor, it's HP and defense. For headgear, it's HP and magic defense. And for accessories, it depends on accessory. But they do give flat stat boost. And beyond the flat stat boost, they also give a percentage-based boost as well. So this all combines together to make your heroes a lot better, a lot more tanky, a lot better at healing, a lot better at killing, or whatever it is that they do. For example, the Tenuous Rope both has 583 HP, but also 10% HP bonus to it. So that's why upgrading your equipment is quite important. Generally, the rule of thumb is that if you're attempting a specific level of content, for example, a level 40 dragon, you should at the very least have level 40 SR items on your key characters. Try to keep your SR items leveled up to the level of the content that you are doing. For example, you might be able to get away with lower level armor and headgear on your DPS characters, but their weapons and accessories, which is where the damage comes from, should be leveled up accordingly. So how do you know whether your hero needs an intelligence weapon or a defense weapon or attack item? Well, you basically look at what your hero's skills do. So for example, Elwyn, if you look at its skills, it says physical damage, and if it's based on physical damage, basically that means that you want attack. Right, and so you'll be looking for the items that add attack to him. This is his exclusive that adds attack, so you would want him to have attack boosting items. You would not want him to have something that boosts defense only, because this will not work out very well for Elwyn. Elwyn is based primarily on attack. If you are looking at the caster, such as Rachel for example, she requires intelligence, because if you look at her skills, it says here magic damage, so she's already using her intelligence. And you can see that all the things here will scale with intelligence, especially her AoE. So fixed damage based on her intelligence, right? So you'll be looking for things that will add intelligence to her. You will not be looking out for items such as this. Sorry, where are the... Oh, everything adds intelligence. You will not be looking out for items that add attack if you happen to see them. And these items that only add healing effects, these are not really great for offensive mages. You actually want pure raw intelligence so that you can have the highest offensive punch possible with offensive mages. Now, another class of characters which aren't so simple to build are those characters which use conversion skills. So we're talking about things like people like Amelia, where if you look at how she does, you can see how she does damage. For example, her guard skill will increase her attack by 1.6 times of her magic defense. It's actually supposed to be replaced. This is a mistranslation. But the characters such as these, which increase the attack based on the defense, for example, Vargas. If you see Vargas, he changes attack to 1.6 times of defense. This is the correct translation. So attack is meaningless for Vargas, and it's not meaningless, but it's actually a lot better for him to stack defense, because 1% defense equals to 1.6 times the effective rate. So if you stack lots of defense on him, his attack will also go sky high because of his conversion skills. There are characters that convert defense to attack, like Vargas. There are also characters that convert magic defense to intelligence or magic defense to attack, such as Bozel. As you can see here, he replaces intelligence with 1.5 times of magic defense. So do read your hero's skills as well as talent to see whether they need magic defense boosting items, intelligence boosting items, or attack boosting items, so that you give them the correct weapon they need to excel. Next, I would like to talk about item upgrade priority. For your tanks, such as Ledin, for example, this is the very standard PvE tank, you will want to upgrade his armor and his headgear as quickly as possible, because that gives him the most resilience. For weapons, they don't really add that much to defense or magic defense, and accessories wise, it depends. So for tanks, usually they want to upgrade their armor and headgear first, especially when you're first starting out. For DPS units such as, where's my Leon? Okay. For Leon, because his main focus is killing stuff, you want to upgrade his weapon, which will add flat attack as well as attack percentage, as well as his accessory, because that also adds attack and flat attack percentage. Upgrading his armor and headgear isn't really very important because they don't really add attack to him, and it doesn't really help him in his primary goal of killing stuff. Of course, ultimately you will want to level all of your character's gear, but in the beginning, when you are strapped for resources, just remember DPS, weapon and accessory, and tank, armor and headgear, and that should bring you far. Lastly, we're going to talk about the big problem in this game, or not problem, one of the biggest system in this game, called enchantments. So your equipment will add stats, but they also can have an enchantment added to them, which further boosts their stats. So for example, the item itself will only add 10% attack, but I have an enchantment on this which more than doubles the percentage boost and gives 14% attack. So as you can see, enchantments are actually very important. There are a few types of enchantments that you can do on your weapons. For example, Leon has Rough Sea, and there are 2-piece bonuses and 4-piece bonuses. Generally, most of the time you will want to run a full 4-piece set, and each of the enchants have their own pros and cons. You can think of blue enchantments as defensive enchantments, yellow enchantments as crit-based enchantments, red enchantments as offensive enchantments, and green enchantments as those that add health and are a bit more defensive and supportive in general. Although this is a vast simplification of a very complex system. Basically, your DPS most of the time should be rocking a red enchant. Your tank usually will rock either a blue or green enchant, and your healers will especially want crystal so that they have healing increased by 20%. So these are the enchant categories that we'll be dealing with. Of course, each of these enchantments have their pros and cons. For example, Clock can reset a skill cooldowns, which is useful for characters with a lot of long cooldown but heavy hitting skills. Rough Sea is good for those who are always attacking, because it increases your attack and damage taken is reduced by 15%, and so on and so forth. So your choice of enchant is important. Do try to keep a full 4-piece set for that full bonus you see here. When you're first starting out, you probably want to just roll a basic enchant on your imported item. So again, same priority. DPS will roll on their weapon and accessory first. Tanks will roll on their armor and headgear first, and you roll the stat that you need. For example, DPS will either roll attack or intelligence on their weapons and accessories, and tanks will want to roll HP, defense, etc. on their armor and headgear. For enchants as a whole, there's actually maximum enchant values that can be obtained per piece of gear, and I'm going to bring that up on screen now. So this is the max enchant values that you can have for attack and intelligence over here, for defense and magic defense, and for HP. So on the more offensive pieces of gear such as weapon and accessory, you can see there's a very heavy emphasis on attack and intelligence. On the more defensive parts of gear such as armor and helm, you can see that there's a higher emphasis on defense and magic defense because their max values are a lot higher. So intuitively, you will want to roll higher attack percentage on this, and you want to roll higher defense and HP on your armor and helm. There's a lot of RNG that goes into rolling enchants. I'm not really going to get into what is optimal for what character and what build and all that, but just know that you should roll some basic enchants on your characters to make them immediately stronger. These additional stat boosts do make a big difference in whether you can clear content or not. Lastly, we're going to talk about how to get these items in the first place. It's all well and good to talk about all these things, but where do you get them in the first place? So basically, there are a few places to get enchantment scrolls from, and enchantment scrolls and items from. The most obvious place would be the Goddess Trial, where you take on the dragons of various difficulty, and you can see that they do drop random SSR and SR items. On Sunday, it's the Dark Dragon, which will drop weapons. Mondays and Thursdays are the Fire Dragon, which can drop all three, which is either weapons, headgear, or armor. Tuesdays and Fridays are the Ice Dragon, which can drop armor, and on Wednesdays and Saturdays it's the Thunder Dragon, which can drop headgear. Accessories are notably missing, and you can only get SSR and SR accessories from a few places. So Dragons, the biggest, is the first place to get gear from. Accessories are mostly dropped by your Timeless Trial. Oh dear, I can't see my rewards. You can get the SSR accessory from your Timeless Trial, and the other place to get SSR accessories and SR accessories will be from the Honor Store, which unfortunately you will need to do PvP for. In fact, let's just gamble. Okay, so this is an SR accessory that's pretty good to start out with. Lastly, this is the gambling shop, if you will, for equipment. So you can break down your equipment into either Orichalcum ore or Mithril ore. Mithril ore is what you get when you break down SR items. This is what you get when you break down SSR items. And you can use them to gamble every week for random SSR weapons, armors, headgear, or you can use them to get epic martial spirits or rare martial spirits. At the start of the game, gambling is probably the balance, optimal balance between gambling for good items and getting martial spirits to upgrade said items is a bit tricky. You want to find good stuff to upgrade as soon as possible, but don't get too bogged down with gambling too much to the point where you can't upgrade anything, because there's no point having 10 level 20 SSR items when you would be better served with a single level 50 SSR weapon for your DPS, for example. So be careful about using your ore. The last place that you can actually get these items such as enchant scrolls and weapons will basically be the joint battle. So joint battles, which happen on Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, can drop weapons and can drop armor and headgear respectively. So Monday and Tuesday are the weapon days, Friday and Saturday are the armor and headgear days. So do try to take part in joint battle if you can find a partner. As the name suggests, joint battle cannot be done solo. So this is a quick overview of the gear system in Langrisser Mobile and how you will go about upgrading your items, as well as what to aim for. As always, I hope this has been helpful, useful, entertaining. And this is Zethrion, signing off.